So we utilize a Final Surge, which is an app where everything gets uploaded right from your watch, and then we can communicate in there. You can write notes on it, and I can see all your splits. I think it's really user friendly, and it's really helpful for me to have all of that information in one spot.
Welcome to the Dr. J.J. Thomas Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dr. J.J. Thomas Podcast. I'm J.J. Thomas, and I'm here today with a very special guest, Robby Andrews. Before I give Robby the full introduction, just a quick brief recap for those of you who are new to us listening. The purpose of this podcast is to reach two different audiences. We have our patients, athletes, general population who just want to get better, stay healthy, stay fit or get fit, and keep doing the things they love physically. And then we have our clinician audience who are clinicians who want to get better at helping people get better, get fitter, get healthier faster. So as you know, if you have been listening, our intention here is to bring on all types of experts on the show that can help us solve the world's problems on how to get people better faster. And so with that, today's very special guest, as I said, Robby Andrews is here representing the running community. And a little bit of background, Robby, you can fill in anything I miss, but Robby's one of my favorite all-time runners ever. Robby was an NCAA superstar and an Olympian, and is also currently now big-time coach for lots of people, including personal work with his also rock star runner, one of my other favorite runners, Josette Andrews. So, Robby, thank you.
JJ, thank you so much for having me. It is such a pleasure to see you. I wish I was back east with you right now, but this is much better than nothing. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I agree. I said, those of you just tuning in, I said, Robby, I wish we had our intro. I wish we had when we both popped up on the screen recording. I wish I had hit record before that, because Robby and I have always had this like, man, I just love you. And it shows whenever we see each other, it's like big embraces, even through the computer. So yeah, it's always good to see you. And I think the reason that is, well, for a lot of reasons, but you are, what makes you special to me is you're living life real. And that goes in everything you do, whether it's running, whether it's spending time with your family, whether it's just living an honest life. Like that's one of the things that always stood out to me about you, is that, you put in the work, you did it wholeheartedly. You committed to everything you did 100%. And I know you still do that through your coaching program. So I'm excited to hear about, because we don't talk as much as we used to, which is okay. Life is busy for both of us.
Well, you have a lot going on, JJ, and you're helping. You help so many people. It's unbelievable. I remember making appointments with you and stuff, and it's like, hey, what do you got next week? You're like, maybe the week after, or maybe the week after that. Well, actually, if I skip 2 lunches, then actually I can see you. Yeah, it's no, JJ, you help so many people, and you're just what I always appreciated about you was your willingness to learn. You always ask questions. Like you weren't afraid to ask questions, which I think is one of the best things you can do as a human is, never stop learning. There's so much stuff out there.
Never stop learning. Yeah. So for those of you for those listening that don't know, Robby's in my background. Robby and I worked together. What was it, about 6 years ago? I mean, it was on and off for anywhere from 2 to 4 years, I'd say, when you were closer to the East Coast. Mm-hmm. And even when you weren't like right in my backyard, you and Josette would come up and travel and visit me and get a little movement cleanup, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And one of my favorite memories from this, I just have to share this because I don't know if I ever told. Well, 2 things I have to share. One is, I don't know if I ever told you this before, but I was definitely had like superstar. I remember reading up on you because I don't always follow all the runner, like Kate, when Kate was with us, Kate would fill me in, like so-and-so ran this. And I'm like, thanks, Kate. But I barely even watch the news. So I don't always know everything that's going on current events running wise, but I remember looking you up and being like, Oh my God, he's the fastest person I've ever met in person. He's the fastest person I've ever laid my hands on. Like, I just remember looking at your times and being like, holy moly, this guy's legit.
Oh, thank you,
So,
JJ.
so that
Yeah.
was the first gush I had to do on you. And then the second gush is that I don't know if I ever told you this, but one of my favorite career moments in life was when you and I were trying to figure out one of your one of your kind of acute inflammatory events that you had, and we were piecing through movement diagnosis and everything like we do, and you and I was like, well, tell me about your training. Like, what's your training like? Have you been progressing? And you were like, you know what? I have my logbook in the car. Let me go get the logbook. And you ran into the car and you brought your logbook back, and then you're flipping through, and on one of the pages you said, I shook it out today. I ran whatever. I didn't feel great, but it's okay. I see JJ tomorrow. JJ will fix me.
Exactly, exactly. And man, it's so people approach logbooks different ways. Some people
Yeah.
just write the facts. It's like 8 miles, 4 miles, whatever. I was always I treated it a little bit more like a diary, and
Yeah.
because I wanted to know if JJ helped, I wanted to remember, oh, JJ helped. Okay, let's go see JJ again. And you made multiple entries into the logbook,
I
and
I tell you, I was like, I made the logbook.
it's a little embarrassing. I carried it around with me all the time, but I think kind of like what you just said earlier. It's like, yeah, I went all in. I tried really really
Yeah.
hard. I wanted to be the best, and I was doing everything that I thought would help me do that, and documenting things, writing things down, helped me. It helped clear my mind, helped me organize things, and then when I see a clinician that is interested and it wants to truly help me, not just get me in, get me out, and be like, oh yeah,
Right.
let me see you 10 more times the next week. Um, I can share with you like, well, this is how hard I'm training. This is my
Yeah.
goal. Can you help me get there? Even though I can't breathe. My glute doesn't work. My Achilles I have 4 Achilles right now, and
Pretty
my
sure there's a
yeah.
match on my Achilles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I have not met many clinicians like you, JJ, that truly want what's best for the athlete, and that's something that I try to take with me now to my coaching and my athletes that I work
Yeah.
with in the gym. So thank you for showing me what empathy and caring for someone truly looks like
Yeah.
in this world.
You're too much. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about because we both I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on. We both want to help people do the rest, right? Running, running, being fit, whatever it is. And I know you're doing that now, coaching. Before we get into the details of the coaching, can we talk a little bit more about your journey as a runner and how that progressed into a running coach?
Totally. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this is great. This is great.
great.
Yeah, well, I guess good place to start would be my family. So my family they are all runners, currently still runners. So my dad, my sister, and now luckily my wife. She's a professional athlete now, out here in Boulder, Colorado, with the On Athletics Club. Super cool. She's made two world indoor teams. Yeah, anyway, I digress. So
She's totally a
yeah,
badass, which I want to talk about that later
yeah,
too.
definitely, definitely. But so I grew up chasing my big sister around, Kristen. She's just oh man, I just adore her so much, and she was so fast, she was so talented, she was so popular, she was just the coolest person ever, and I just wanted to be anything like my sister. And we were also just chasing my dad around, who ran. He ran in college, he ran after college. Still runs masters at Penn Relays, So it's
Mm,
running was just always part of my life, and I was never pushed towards it, but it was always open to me. So I think
yeah,
that helped me a lot now, that I never felt this, hey, you have to go to the track, you have to
I
run
love
today.
that.
And
That's so important.
best thing my dad ever did for us was
Hmm.
let us decide and let us come to it. Like he
I
let me
think,
play. Oh,
yeah, no, just a little external, like an observation from, talking about what we were talking about with your logbook and why it was served as sort of like a diary. You had the freedom to do that because it wasn't, it wasn't a chore. It was a gift.
Right.
right? And so, yeah, I've met your dad. He's amazing. And Kristen, of course. And I could see that. It's cool for you to share that because I think that's right. I think, for the parents of athletes I have out there, recognize that like how we influence our kids really is going to stay with them one way or another. So I think
Absolutely.
that's a great first place to start, Robbie. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're so welcome. And it's I was coaching a youth program out here in Boulder for the first year and a half I was here, and it's what do parents want? They want what's best for their kids, and they want them to succeed, and they want them to be happy. Um, and that sometimes gets blurred with success and pushing, and
Yeah.
it's really easy to do more and to run faster and to run harder. And there comes a point where you can't do that anymore. And then the kid, you're just going
Hmm.
to get pushback and you're going to get resentment. And it's tough. It's a really hard balance because especially now with all of the information, all of the opportunities kids have these days, there's always another league, there's always another group to be going to. And it's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
the town next door practices 6 days a week, and the other town practices 8 days a week. And well, we're only doing three. Are we doing enough?
Right.
And I think, I guess it depends what your goal is. But I would say for runners in general, my goal for them, especially youth runners, is lifelong engagement. And that
Mm.
was that was my dad's goal for his kids. Of course, he wanted us to be successful, but I think more importantly, he found running to be his outlet for the rest of his life. And
Awesome.
he wanted us to have that. And look, he got what he wanted, so it worked. And so that's
Absolutely.
and and
Yeah.
yeah.
I can see where I think that's true. Something you said that I want to elaborate on with parents and kids is that as a parent myself, I have three kids, three
Rock
beautiful kids
stars,
as well,
yeah, yeah.
rock stars, totally. But there are so many times where, especially when they were younger, like that, like a very impressionable, more adolescent stage, where you're trying to help them develop confidence, and I think to develop confidence, I'm sure you see this with your athletes. To develop confidence, you have to have the wins, and so
Hmm.
sometimes you have to push to get the wins. And as a parent, like you want to help push them enough, but you don't, but it's like that line of over the edge could be tricky sometimes. So
Totally.
I
Yeah.
think that's actually one of the big ways parents can utilize coaches like you better is to have the perspective. Like, I know I used coaches like you because it was like and still do for my kids. And it's like they have the capacity to step back a little bit and be like, okay, this is going to help their performance, or you know what, this is going to put them over the edge and maybe even hurt their performance doing too much.
Yeah.
So, do you find that people that utilize your coaching recognize that value?
They learn to value it. I would say almost across the board. I I'm a touch conservative in things. I value health so much, and I just in term mental and physical health. So when I'll give my athletes a little bit less than they might expect or they might think. And I've had more than a few times they're like, can we do more? And I'm like, well, now we can because you're asking for it. But I'm
Yes,
not going to give you more than you can digest, if that
that's
makes
great.
sense.
That's brilliant. I love that. And I think I noticed most of your programs, well, you can do like a 1 month setup. Tell me how it works. I don't want to
Yeah.
tell you how
Oh,
it works. Why don't you tell me how it works? Yeah.
JJ, you tell me whatever you want. All right, you're the boss.
So let me tell you how this works, Robbie.
So we have a few different options. So the first one is the least hands-on. It's a 1 month plan where we'll have our initial conversation for about an hour. Tell me your goals. Tell me what you want to get out of it, and I'll write you the plan, and we can adjust it once or twice. It's minimal communication is kind of the point of
Yeah,
it. So like this summer, we had a few high school kids that had some injuries, so they were looking for a return to run, and that
great.
was great. I gave them some exercises, gave them a run plan that was very digestible, and might not look like much, but that's sometimes what you need. And
Yeah,
then, yeah, so that's, or if like you have a race plan that you're like a race you're training for and you just want to get the last 4 weeks dialed in perfectly, that's perfect for that.
that's great.
Yeah. And then, the one above that is, it's kind of, the levels are basically communication. So then the level above that would be full on weekly communication, where we'll talk after your workouts. At the end of each week, we'll have a recap, and then you have race plans for whatever race you have coming up, and just we're talking a little bit more, so I'm getting to know you a little bit better, and I think of it as more of a long-term thing. And then the third plan would have strength training added to that, and we utilize a program called Which Weight, and it's an intuitive training model. So based off of the data that you upload from your training that day, so like say it's super humid in the summer on the East Coast, which happens all the time. And you may have run too hard by accident because it was so hot. So your Which Weight will gather the data and will process how much over you exerted, and then adjust the strength for that. So it's really cool.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's I've been having a lot of success with it. The athletes love it. And I guess there is one more where if you wanted me to write the actual strength, that would be another level. And I do that for not a ton of people, because the Which Weight seems to be covering it. But if you are if you have like maybe more, you need a little bit more detail. Maybe you have a few more injury history or something, then we'll do that. But yeah, so it's basically communication, which is what I value the most. And obviously, I think that's what we just covered, that we both value that. So it's been really fun.
I think that's right. And then, so they log with each program. Do they keep a logbook, or do they do it on an app, or how does that work?
Correct. Yeah. So we use Final Surge right now. And my wife Josette, she's also a coach too. So she's trying to get into the coaching world. Which she's only taken a few athletes, which I think is great, because she is still focusing on being the best runner ever. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But so it's, yeah. But yes, we utilize a Final Surge, which is an app where everything gets uploaded right from your watch. And then we can communicate in there. You can write notes on it, and I can see all your splits. I think it's really user friendly, and it's really helpful for me to have all of that information in one spot.
That's cool. One of the things I was saying before we even started hitting record again, as you and I were catching up, and I was like, Jesus, we got to hit record. This is all good stuff. Is how I think I was getting there, and then I interrupted myself to hit record. Is that I imagine that one of the most valuable pieces, other than the fact that you, like I said, are one of the fastest people I've ever known, and you said, like, I wanted to be a success, and you are a success. But in addition to that, you are a successful runner who has had your own physical ailments. And I think that's actually so valuable. As I know for myself as a clinician, like, if you remember, I tore my ACL like 2 years ago, and and I'll say I learned so much through my own individual rehab on myself, that I thought, and I did a good job before that, but there was just this extra edge that having my own injury to that degree. I'd had little injuries before, but nothing to that degree, and having that primary perspective of what my patients were going through, and the ability to feel and test and retest on myself was huge. So do you feel that your past experiences with injuries play a role in your ability to coach differently?
Well, I remember when you were going through that rehab, JJ, and it was, I mean, the cool thing is you documented it, which I thought was so brilliant, because for me, as I was telling you again before we hit record, it's self-care is hard to do sometimes. And that's something I've really struggled with. I would show up to your door and be like, oh, hey, can't run, fix me. And it's like, okay, well, you would do it. And then, I'd get super lazy and I wouldn't really do it. So it was like, I think I took the easy way out, and I wasn't always great at self-care. But so to see you do that, to see you document and go through the steps, because an ACL rehab it's zero fun. And like, I remember listening to your BFR podcast, and you're like, when I get in my BFR, do not talk to me. I'm in a dark place. I will kill you. And it's like, that's what
It is
JJ's
the
putting herself
truth.
through. Yeah.
It is the truth. I actually would face the wall. Like I would tell the team, don't like I would actually turn facing the wall like I was in timeout because I couldn't even put on a happy face if you wanted me to. But that's so funny, and it's true.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
you said something though that I think is really important to touch on. I think as leaders in healthcare, I think one thing that it's important for us to realize is that when someone isn't, as you said, like isn't doing what they're supposed to do, I feel
Hmm.
like there's an underlying like either I feel like it's our job to figure out like why are they not compelled to do it? Like what am I missing that I wasn't able to show whichever athlete that this exercise is valuable or that they're and maybe it's because I wasn't I don't know but I think yeah I think oftentimes when people especially athletes and high performers like you when something isn't done it's more because we haven't done our job in proving that it's worth your time.
Mm,
So
I think self-sabotage is a powerful internal power mechanism, I guess. Yeah, there we're going a little off tangent, but fear of
we
success
totally are.
is I definitely dealt with that a little bit, and
Yeah.
I think I yeah, I struggled with staying healthy towards the end of my career, which is really frustrating. But I do wonder how much more I could have done for that. I started off here saying I was trying to do everything I could, and that's just human nature, thinking about, well, what could I have done differently? But
Totally.
yeah, so
And I think we're always going to be our hardest. Yeah, hardest on
yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. But yeah, so I do, going back to your question, JJ, absolutely. I do agree that going through those hardships and going through those different ailments has helped me a ton because
Yeah.
it's just my toolbox. Now, someone comes in with a calf thing, I'm like, okay, I've done that every year for
Yes.
10 years.
Yes. And when I had that, this is what helped me, right?
Right. And that doesn't necessarily work, but it's a great place to start.
Yeah.
And I mean, JJ, the diaphragm stuff you worked on with me, I still use that because we're up here at altitude, and diaphragm
That's
stuff,
awesome.
it's so cool. So, getting to treatment from the best is now helping me give it to other people. So
You're
it's been really, really cool, to like, I didn't know that I was going to be able to use everything I learned, to help other people,
yeah.
but here I am, and it's been, it's really, that's cool looking back on. I enjoy that part of looking back.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really cool. And what about so you and Josette, you guys look like you're having a blast. Your wedding was one of my favorite weddings of all time. Like literally, I am not kidding. That was so much fun. And yeah, just the best dancing and the best people and the best music and really
Oh,
fun.
thank you
Um,
so much for
I,
making the time to come. And I'm so glad you got to see Abby again, which was really cool.
oh
Um,
my God, I
yeah.
know that was amazing.
I can't believe you guys came.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys helped
it's
us so
fun.
much. Anyway, thank you. Yeah.
But so what are you guys up to now? Like, so tell me more about what's your schedule look like these days with you and Josette?
Oh man, it's been really cool. So Josette, as I had mentioned, she's a full-time professional track and field athlete with the On Athletics Club out here in Boulder, Colorado. So she trains with very, very high caliber team. I would go as far to say it's the it's the premier training group in North America, if not the world.
Wow.
They had two Olympic medals this summer. They had a bronze medal from Yard and Goose in the 1500, which was really cool. And then they had a
Hmm.
marathon bronze medal from Helen Obiri on the women's side. And I think they had 10 athletes make the Olympic team for various
That's
countries.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Multiple national record holders. It's quite impressive, the collection of individuals they are. And Josette, she fits right in with them. It's so
Yeah.
the talent and ability that she has, along with her mental toughness, is she has such a long career ahead of her. I am so excited for her. She's only 28. She's gonna have so much more to go.
I remember when you guys first started dating, and I was treating you, and she came, and it was just, I just remember her sitting.
Me
She was like sitting on the pillar, just
Uh-huh.
kind of waiting, looking like Robbie's so cute.
Man, that was so she had man, she has such a cool story. I really hope if she can find some time, I'd love for you to talk to her. But
Oh, we'll
in a
100% get her on. I'm just
in,
squeezing in between all the wind blasting races she has right now.
well, in a nutshell, Josette had four years of injury-ridden college running, collegiate running, and then in her fifth year, she was finally healthy, and she went on to get fourth in the NCAA. So her first ever NCAA meet, she got fourth in it, which is
Wow.
quite uncommon, especially as a fifth year.
Wow. Yeah.
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 And then she was fortunate enough to sign a professional contract right after that. And then
Yeah.
a year after that, she made the Diamond League final, which is it's basically the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If the Olympics is the Super Bowl, that'd be like the NFC champ or something. But
Got it.
it was like about as high as you get, and she got third place in that. So
Cool.
so like in a matter of 3 years, she went from being this injury-ridden collegiate athlete to being ranked top 10 in the world in the 1500.
Yeah. I remember she broke 4 minutes, right? Which
Yeah,
was like
that's
a
right.
big, I do. Yeah, I did. I just am reading. Yeah, but again, so that was I remember being like, whoa, now Josette broke 4 minutes? Like, what the heck? This is crazy.
So
I remember,
for those at home, oftentimes professional athletes or track athletes, you run the 1500, which is not quite the full mile. So it's about 109 meters short of a mile. And so for men, the 4 minute mile, it used to be a little bit bigger than it is now. Now, men, they've gotten a little bit faster. But so
you're still the only person I put my hands on that ran under 4 as well, by the way.
Well, thanks, JJ. But on the women's side, for the 1500, that 4 minute barrier is really, really important. Much fewer women have broken 4 minutes for the 1500 than men have broken 4 minutes in the mile. And so Josette is one of, I think, 5 Americans to run under 4 minutes in the 1500 and also under 15 minutes in the 5K. So she's run 14:43 in the 5K and 3:59 for the 1500, which is about a 4:20 for the mile. So if any high school boys listening, see how close you can get to her this year.
That's right. I love that.
Super cool though. She's absolutely amazing. She has so much ability. It's scary. Yeah, it's really cool to see her run.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys get to, here's more of a personal training question. Do you guys get, within the schedule, are you guys able to run together? It seems like you are from social media. Like, I know she has to, she's training with the team a lot, but you guys get to go on some fun runs together sometimes?
Absolutely. So her coach, Dathan Ritzenheim, he was a 3-time Olympian in the marathon and the 10K. He was absolute rock star. He's welcomed me not onto the team. I shouldn't say that. He's welcomed me to help Josette because so I've been able to help her and some of her teammates. Alicia Munson, American record holder in the 5K and 10K. She's run 30:03 for 10K.
Wow.
So that's 2 15-minute 5Ks.
And by help, you mean help coach, right?
Help pace. Yes. So I run with them. So I'll get in front of them in reps so that they can turn their brain off and just sit behind the human metronome that I am. But it's been really, really cool for me because one, it helps me get in great shape, and two, I feel that I'm helping them. And when after workout, if Alicia or Josette are like, hey, thank you, like you really helped, that's just like, that fills my cup up. And
that's right.
It's really cool. And I get to spend time with my beautiful wife, which is like so valuable in this world. So yeah, it's been really fun. I love running with her. We work really well together. We just get along. So we're really happy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's the next couple months look like for you guys? Like give me an idea of the schedule, what it looks like in the future.
So Josette is finishing up her season break right now, end of season break. So she just had 10 days off of training, which is great. So we went
Great.
to see her girlfriend in Santa Monica, got on the beach, just had so much fun. It was really good to get out of town a little bit, just get a little breather. Um, but so now she had her first training run back yesterday, and she'll probably reach peak volume, peak intensity in the next 3 or 4 weeks, with workouts resuming end of October. So we have a few maybe one trip left planned. I think she's getting inducted into Tenafly High School in New Jersey, their Hall of Fame. So
Ah, that's so cool.
we're going back for that, and I think we're gonna get to see Kristen, and she has a 1 year old boy now,
I
Reese.
saw. That's so
Uh,
cool.
so I think Josette hasn't been able to meet him yet, so she's really excited to see him.
That's
And
great.
but other than that, it's kind of hunkered down. So yes, the Olympics just finished up, but there's a World Championship in Tokyo a year from now in September. So
Awesome.
that's the goal.
That's the next big goal. Cool.
That's the next big goal. So she has, it's fun. It's, man, this long-term delayed gratification and like these long-term goals, they're,
Yeah.
that's kind of what high performance sport is about, which is, it can be frustrating. It's not for everyone. There's not
Yeah.
the workouts you're doing in September of 2024 are for the races in September of 2025, which
Yeah.
is, it's,
It is,
sometimes it's hard to, yeah.
marathon is an understatement. Like
Yeah,
even when you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
running an actual marathon, you're training a marathon more than that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
That's
exactly.
really cool.
Yeah, but so most, and then I'm in the gym at a Kinesis Integrated Performance here in Boulder. We're specialized in endurance athletes. Work with Chris Lee, he's worked with a professional track and field team, with Tin Man, Doug Adams' team, Tin Man guys.
Yes.
So he worked with Tin Man for a
Okay,
while.
great.
hmm And
So wait,
yeah.
I have to ask you, I forgot to ask you about this. Is that where one of your athletes, I think, did a Turkish get up with you?
Yes, yes.
Robbie,
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mike Adala. Yeah,
dying. I was
I,
dying watching
yeah,
that also because I know you and I could see, like, even if you don't know you, your whole body was like, oh my God, is this really happening?
crazy. So I
Yeah.
weighed myself directly after that because I had to know how much he was lifting. I was
And
150.0 pounds. It was
holy
literally
moly.
150 pounds, and I just got, don't crack the egg. I just got in my fetal position, and Mike is he uh he just sent in an application to come in. He said he had been dealing with some knee pain. He's now a trail runner. He just did the Leadman, or the Leadville, excuse me. Oh, he did the
Oh, he did?
Leadman. He calls it the Leadman. So he did the Leadville bike race, which I think is like
Okay.
200 miles or something. And then a
It's a
week
hundred, but
later,
it's hilly, hilly, hilly. I think it's a
okay,
hundred, but isn't it 100? Yeah, but it's super hilly. Like the hill, yeah.
right. And so then the week after the bike race, he did the 100-mile run or hike, whatever you want to call it. So
Right.
he did them like a week apart. So he calls it the
Wow.
lead man.
The
Um,
lead man.
yeah, he's hysterical.
That's
But
crazy.
he had been dealing with some knee pain back in, I think this was April. And he was talking to me and Chris, and he's like, yeah, I have these pretty big goal in September or August. Uh, you know, can can you help me out? And we're like,
Can
yeah,
we
sure.
work
So,
together?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we got him through an assessment, and Chris was able to help him out right away. He came in for a session after his assessment, and he was kind of joking because we had given him Turkish get up as a warm up exercise,
That's
and
great.
he's like, well, I can Turkish get up you if you want, Robbie, and me and Chris look at each other. We're like, okay, dude, like, go do some squats. I don't
Whatever.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we get to the end of the session, and he's like, "All right, man. So you want me to Turkish get up you?" And I'm like, "Wait,
Oh
are you
my
being
God.
serious?" Uh, and I was like, "Let's do it." So he said, "Oh, just get in the ball, don't move, and I'll take care of the rest."
I want to come out and see if he can Turkish get up me. I swear, I was jealous. I was like, that's so cool
I
of
want to
him.
see if you can Turkish get up me, JJ.
I definitely cannot. I definitely cannot.
Well,
But
we'll see.
but maybe I could bench press you. I don't know. Double
For
up.
sure, for sure, for sure. So we're just he's just a perfect example of who's coming into the gym. He's just really,
Yeah.
really great guy. Cares about himself, cares about other people. He's in the community helping out so many people, and just looking out for everyone, and having a
Yeah.
good time. Doesn't take anything too seriously, and it's been really cool working with Chris at Kinesis and the people that come in. It's just been it's definitely broadening my mind and my horizon a little bit.
That's that actually made me think of one more question I did want to ask you is with your coaching uh, program or
Hmm.
coaching. Yeah, it's more than a program really with your coaching work. C- Tell me the name of it again, because I
Miles to go.
and why?
Like the Robert Frost
Yes.
poem, Miles to go before I sleep. The woods are dark, deep, and lovely. Miles to go before I sleep. That's kind of the inception. That's where it like kind of that just the imagery of that the ending of that poem just stuck with me so hard. And just every athlete, no two athletes are the same. So if we don't know how far you have to go, but you have miles to go until you get there. And
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
one path for you, it might be another path for someone else. And that's kind of what I love most is figuring that out, doing a little creative work on you. Because if you tell me, JJ, you're on your feet all day helping people, and then you have somebody else that's like, oh, I program 12 hours a day, like I'm sitting at a
Right.
computer. It's
I'm
like, well,
sitting. Right.
yes, I'm not gonna train you the same. So
That's perfect.
it's really cool. I'm really, really enjoying it, and getting to be a little creative along with, integrating the science into it. Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. Great. Well, for all of you listening, whether you're a patient, athlete, or clinician, check out milestogo.com. That's the website, right, Robbie?
Miles2gocoaching.com.
Milestogo.com.
Yep.
Milestogocoaching.com. And
Yep.
check out Robby Andrews and Josette Andrews, Norris Andrews on Instagram. And you won't be sorry. These guys are top notch, and not just in terms of the way they program and coach, but also just as humans. So thanks for
Thank you,
coming,
JJ.
Robbie.
Thank you so much.
And what if you guys have any questions on Robbie's work, or anything else related to this episode? As always, just hit a comment in the discussions, or hit me up on DM, or reach out to Robbie directly. All right. See you guys next time, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes.